300lb sister saw a weight loss camp online. It promised to turn her into a fairy. Within a month, I discovered that the weight loss camp had no qualifications and was an unregistered company. After much persuasion, my sister finally gave up. 1 month later, all the girls who went to the weight loss camp had slimmed down into slender beauties. The weight loss camp also announced its closure. My sister went crazy on the spot. She believed I had blocked her path to becoming beautiful. Soak all my clothes in parquat. I died from multiple organ failure. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my sister was about to go to the weight loss camp. Opening my eyes, my sister Wendy was lying on the sofa, holding a chicken leg in one hand, scrolling through the phone screen with the other. The flesh on her belly trembled with each burst of laughter. Mom, come quick. Look at this weight loss boot camp. They guarantee I'll turn into a stunning beauty in just 1 month. My mother brought out a plate of small cakes and placed them in front of Wendy. Oh dear, you're not even fat, why go through all that hardship? Wendy was displeased to hear this. She started yelling and screaming at my mother, saying, my mom knows nothing, only knows how to cook delicious food for her. That's how she ended up like this. And because of this, the person she liked was taken away from her. The weight loss camp costs 10,000 yuan per month for tuition, only accepting girls over 200 lb. Guaranteed full refund of tuition if you don't lose weight within a month. Wendy tugged at my mother's arm, acting coquettishly, saying that even if she didn't lose weight, there would be no loss. My mother hesitated, looking up at me. Rose, what do you think? I was startled and snapped back to reality. In my previous life, my mother had asked me the same question. I picked up my phone and looked up the weight loss training camp that Wendy had seen. It's a newly opened company with no qualifications whatsoever. No other information about the company could be found online. Moreover, their announcement states that this weight loss program only lasts for 1 month. After 1 month, they will suspend operations and will no longer accept new participants. I can't let this go on. It's clearly a scam company, just taking the money and running. How can they guarantee someone over 200 lb will lose weight in a month? Besides, Wendy has already reached 300 lb. I have to stop and rest after just a couple of steps. I immediately told my mom about this, advised them not to choose this company. If Wendy wants to lose weight, I'll go and pick a legitimate weight loss company for her. After some hesitation, they agreed. I also selected a weight loss training camp with a great reputation in the industry for her. Wendy went for less than 2 weeks before complaining about being tired and came back a month later. That weight loss training camp released a video. All the girls who signed up a month ago and weighed over 200 lb have slimmed down into beauties. Their complexions are rosy and their energy and blood are abundant. At the same time, it was announced that this round of weight loss was successful and they have temporarily suspended operations. The date for reopening is yet to be determined. My sister was instantly driven mad with rage. She hated me to the extreme, believing it was all my fault that she missed this chance to lose weight. While I was away from home, she secretly bought pesticide and soaked all my clothes in it. I died in agony from multiple organ failure, and to protect Wendy, my parents actually claimed that I had mistaken pesticide for laundry detergent. They held my funeral portrait and wept. Rose, we can't lose Wendy after losing you. An older sister should always forgive her younger sister. She already knows she was wrong, and you'll forgive her, right? Besides, you can't entirely blame her. If you had just let her go to the weight loss camp back then, none of this would have happened. I pulled my thoughts back, hiding the hatred in my eyes, and spoke with a smile. It's a good thing that my sister wants to lose weight. My mother was taken aback for a moment before speaking again. Rose, do you think there's nothing wrong with this weight loss training camp? I tilted my head and looked at my mom curiously. Mom, do you think there's something wrong? My mom patted her apron, smiled, and stood up. I don't understand any of this. You went to college, so you must know more than I do. As soon as she finished speaking, my mother's expression changed. She awkwardly clutched at her apron. Wendy's face scrunched up, her whole body trembling with anger. Mom, what do you mean? You look down on me, don't you? What's so great about going to college? So she's the college student who knows everything, and I know nothing. Is that it? 2 lines of clear tears streamed from her narrow, squinting eyes. Wendy sobbed as she struggled to get off the sofa, then rushed back to her room. The floor shook 3 times. The word college student is a forbidden term in our family. Since the boy she had a crush on was taken away, Wendy has been unwilling to study. After the college entrance exam, she didn't get into anything. Her parents urged her to retake the exam, but she refused. Now she just lies at home every day waiting for my mom to feed her. Wendy believes that if she loses weight, there is nothing she cannot achieve. Both Tsinghua and Peking University would accept her. My mother looked at me with dissatisfaction and clicked her tongue. Why did you have to provoke your sister? She's already insecure and you still say things like that. There's no need for her to go to that weight loss camp either. You know her personality. She'll be back in 2 or 3 days. Later, when we eat, you should talk to your sister. She wiped her hands and went back to the kitchen. I watched her back and sneered coldly. My mom has always been like this. She's afraid of facing my sister's anger. She always eggs me on to convey her thoughts, making me the one to take the fall. Once my sister gets angry, she steps in to smooth things over, pinning all the blame on me. So Wendy has always disliked me. She thinks I'm always trying to oppose her and everything. During lunch, Wendy brought up the training camp again. Mom, Dad, the registration for this training camp closes the day after tomorrow. Hurry up and give me the money. Do you not want me to lose weight? My dad kept his head down and said nothing. My mom desperately winked and signaled at me. I shoveled a few mouthfuls of rice into my mouth. Mom, what's wrong with your eyes? My mom hasn't scolded me yet. My sister's gaze is already shooting over like daggers. My mom carefully chooses her words before speaking. Don't rush, Wendy. Let your sister check online later to see how that weight loss camp is. It's not that Mom is reluctant to spend the money. It's just that I think your sister's words are more reliable. I quickly declined. Mom, I don't understand these things. If Wendy wants to go, just let her. Even if it's just for fun. It's fine, right, Wendy? After finishing the meal, my mother quickly pulled me into the room. She questioned me about what I really wanted to do. I didn't want to pay attention to her at first, but out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of a belly behind the door crack. It was Wendy hiding behind the door. What's wrong, Mom? If you don't want Wendy to go, just tell her yourself. I think it's good that Wendy has her own ideas. Even if she just goes to have fun, it's fine. After all, the money will be refunded anyway. Why on earth won't you let her go? My mom got anxious and slammed the table hard. Do you even understand? What kind of perseverance does your sister have? 10,000 yuan a month just throwing it away. What do you mean, just go have some fun? A000 is one thing, but 10,000, are you going to pay for it? I pretended to hesitate. If I had the money, I'd help her pay for it. But I just started working. Where would I get 10,000 from? Bang. Wendy pulled the door open, panting heavily as she stood in the doorway. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she gritted her teeth. Fine. So you're just too stingy to spend the money, you just don't want me to go. I'm so fat now, I might as well just die. I'll go die, that way you can save money. She let out a wail and dashed out with heavy footsteps. My mother shot me a resentful glare. Look at the mess you've made, Wendy. Let me explain. Wendy ran downstairs to the residential complex and burst into loud sobs. Snot and tears were smeared all over her clothes. This was Wendy's usual trick. Whenever she couldn't get her way, she would go downstairs and cry to the gossipy aunties. Now it's settled. All the aunties downstairs know my mom is reluctant to spend 10,000 yuan to help her lose weight. I bought a bottle of drink and watched with great interest from the side. The auntie surrounded my mom in the middle, chattering away with endless criticism. You really should pay more attention to your child's health. Look at how chubby Shaolan has become. Right now it's just 10,000, but who knows how much it'll cost when it comes to surgery? Exactly. With things as they are, it's hard to find a boyfriend. Your family isn't short on money, so just give her 10,000 to let her have some fun. Hearing that she couldn't find a boyfriend, Wendy wailed even louder. My mom just doesn't want me to get married. If I were thinner, wouldn't I be able to find a man easily? The flesh on her body twitched along with her, making the scene quite comical. My mother's face was like a traffic light, turning red and green alternately. She started off trying to explain, but there was no way she could out-talk those aunties with a dark expression. She was sternly lectured by the aunties. She had wanted to take Wendy home to talk, but Wendy absolutely refused to leave. There was no other choice but to agree to Wendy's request. Only after publicly transferring the deposit on the website did Wendy wipe away her tears and follow her home. My mother came home so angry that she slammed the door and went straight to her room. Wendy didn't care at all. Mimi opened the website to pick out a pretty dress. She started planning where to go on a date with her crush a month later. The next day, the weight loss camp called asking her to go sign up in person. My mom took Wendy there early in the morning. She also brought me along, saying I should check if there were any shady spots. I smiled. Even if there were, I wouldn't say anything. I don't want to die a miserable death in the hospital like I did in my past life. That kind of pain is carved into my mind with a knife, unforgettable forever. At the entrance of the weight loss camp, several muscular, handsome guys were receiving guests. Wendy stared with wide eyes, completely captivated, dragging my mother along with great effort. I broke into a sweat after just a few steps. The person in charge's eyes lit up when he saw Wendy's figure. He greeted her as if he had found a treasure. "Is this your daughter? Come, hurry up and fill out the registration form." I glanced at the registration form. It includes not only the most basic information like name, age, and ID number, but also blood type and birth details. My mother was a bit puzzled, wondering why such details were needed just for weight loss. The person in charge explained that this is their latest technology, with each plan tailored to the individual. My mother looked at me. "Rose, you've been to college. What do you think?" I shrugged. "I'm not sure." "Why don't you call and ask?" Wendy grew anxious and quickly filled out the form. She shouted, "Mom, you promised me you can't go back on your word." "Oh, and there's also a confidentiality agreement and a refund agreement guaranteed to lose £100 in a month or you get a full refund." Wendy didn't even glance at it before signing her name at the bottom. The person in charge praised Wendy to the skis, saying her facial features are exquisite. Her body proportions are good and her legs are long. She would definitely be a great beauty once she loses weight. Not only that, but they also put me down. "Is this your sister?" I'm someone who likes to speak the truth, so don't take it the wrong way. If you slim down, you'll definitely be prettier than your sister. Once you lose weight, you'll be the campus belle for sure. Even Louis Fay wouldn't compare to you, let alone men. Handsome guys would spend a fortune just to catch a glimpse of you. Wendy floated on air, giving me a smug, raised eyebrow with such praise. My mom won't even be able to make a phone call. She was directly forced by Wendy to pay the tuition fee, who threatened to jump from there if she didn't hand over the money. After paying, the person in charge asked her to choose a coach. It turned out that the muscular men at the entrance were all coaches. Wendy was overwhelmed by the choices and pouted at the person in charge, batting her eyes. "It's so hard to choose, I can't decide. Can I have two?" The person in charge's mouth twitched, but they remained professional, managing their expression perfectly. They made an exception and let Wendy pick two muscular, handsome guys. I deliberately stayed there for a while before leaving. I noticed that the person in charge said the same thing to everyone who signed up. My mother went back home and was so angry that she didn't eat lunch all afternoon. Wendy didn't care at all, humming a tune while packing her things. They are going to a weight loss camp for a month. In the afternoon, my mother was still angry and sent me to take Wendy to the training camp. At the training camp, several muscular coaches began taking measurements of Wendy. The person in charge then pulled me aside to talk about how great their program was. I was listening with little interest until I saw a live streaming device inside. "What is this?" The person in charge smiled mysteriously. He only asked me to follow their account on a certain platform. The person in charge told me that their training would begin tonight. When I got home in the evening, my mom was looking at Wendy's photo with tears in her eyes. Wendy has been so pampered. I wonder if she can get used to being away from us and if she'll miss her mom. I curled my lips in disdain. If you miss her so much, why not just go stay with her at the weight loss camp? Her eyes lit up and she actually pulled out her phone. A stream of foul language from Wendy came through the phone. I returned to my room and opened a certain app only to see that the account had already started streaming. Wendy stood in a row with other girls who were trying to lose weight. Their heads were covered with gift icons. It says, "Whoever gets the most votes will be prioritized for weight loss." The live stream didn't have many viewers, but votes kept coming in. Wendy was the heaviest and she also had the most votes. The voting ended and Wendy won. She started a live stream to lose weight. I watched for a while. It was no different from an ordinary weight loss live stream. It was just dancing and exercising. Wendy was already drenched in sweat within just 5 minutes. Panting heavily from exhaustion, she cried out, demanding a break. They were quite considerate, allowing Wendy to step down and rest, while another girl took her place to continue the workout. I couldn't help but wonder, could this really help someone lose 200 lb in just a month? It's just ordinary weight loss. No matter what, it's impossible to lose 200 lb in a month. 5 minutes later, Wendy took the stage again. She didn't say word and just danced honestly for half an hour. Even if I'm sweating profusely and too exhausted to lift my arms, I never say I need a break. This isn't Wendy's style. Maybe it was a threat, or perhaps some incredible benefit was promised. But what does that have to do with me? She brought this upon herself. I've been watching this live stream for 2 days and haven't noticed anything else. It's not very interesting. However, there's something odd. The viewers who are sending gifts seem to be the same few people all along. A week later, I opened the live stream again. My eyes instantly widened. Is this still the 300 lb Wendy? She has actually lost a full 80 lb. The live stream room indicated her current weight is only 220 lb now, although she still has a lot of flesh, but it's visibly noticeable that she has slimmed down a lot. I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. How is that possible? Lost 80 pounds in just 10 days. My mom was hugging her phone, laughing so hard her face was about to split. Wendy really takes after me, a true beauty in the making. Even at over 200 lb, you could tell she was a great beauty. After the live stream ended, Wendy video called my mom. She proudly boasted to my mom that her old clothes were all too big and didn't fit anymore. My mom asked her how she had lost weight. Wendy smiled mysteriously. I signed a confidentiality agreement, so I can't say. Just think I lost weight by doing aerobics. My mother looked at me again and again, feeling a bit sad, wondering if I had gotten thin from starvation. Wendy said she ate as usual and didn't deliberately starve herself as usual. Yeah, big fish and meat as usual, just a bit less than what I eat at home. As the saying goes, weight loss is 30% exercise and 70% diet. She didn't control her diet, nor did she follow online weight loss exercises just by doing a few hours of liver-streamed exercise every day. Can you really lose 80 pounds in 10 days? It's simply unbelievable. All these issues must stem from their secrets. Another 10 days passed. I returned to the live stream room. If it weren't for the text on the screen, I would have hardly recognized which one was Wendy. Her weight has now reached 140 lb, lost another 80 lb. The live stream's popularity is already on the rise. Damn, I swear. 20 days ago, the heaviest one was over 300 lb. Photoshopped, case closed. Huh, you must have switched people, losing over 100 pounds in 20 days. You're kidding me. I have a screen recording to prove there was no switch. Look at the years. You can tell it's the same person. The live stream chat erupted into an argument, but I wasn't in the mood to watch. This is indeed Wendy. It's just that she has heavy dark circles under her eyes. Even with concealer, they are still clearly visible. The people in the live stream have obviously noticed it too. The host explained that they didn't sleep well. After the broadcast ended, my mom, as usual, made a video call to Wendy. Wendy was humming a song on the other end. She said she would soon become a goddess. Let my mom prepare those pretty little dresses for her. She will come back to wear them in 10 days. My mom was so excited that she went to the mall that very day and bought over a dozen dresses for her. She glanced at me. Rose, I think your sister will definitely be prettier than you once she loses weight. Don't always act like you're something special just because you went to college. I think Wendy will definitely marry better than you. When the time comes, our whole family will have to rely on her. 10 days later, the training officially concluded. In the live stream, those few girls who were losing weight, including Wendy, had all slimmed down into slender, beautiful women. Just like in my previous life, the person in charge announced on the spot that the weight loss plan was successful. Their mission is complete, and they will not accept new students for a year. The next class start time is uncertain. The barrage is filled with cries of suffering. Some people even said they'd be willing to pay several times the tuition fee to lose weight as long as they offered classes. The person in charge declined. They claimed it was just a public welfare course, not for making money. Charging fees was only to motivate the students. After saying that, I ended the live stream. The next day, my mom took the dress she bought to pick up Wendy. Out of curiosity, I went with her. Wendy had indeed changed quite a bit. A stunning beauty through and through. She looked at me with pride. Rose, I've never been as good as you at anything since we were kids. But so what? My beauty far surpasses yours, and I'm the one who will marry into a wealthy family in the future. She held my mother's hand, skipping and hopping as she walked ahead. It's just that her steps were a bit light and unsteady. Several times, she almost stumbled on level ground. When we got home, my mother, as usual, prepared a large table full of dishes. It was all filled with Wendy's once favourite heavy oil, salt, and spice. Unexpectedly, Wendy merely glanced at it. She rushed to the bathroom and wretched. She wailed loudly, "Take it away, take it all away, I don't want to eat any of this." My mom was taken aback for a moment, then quickly cleared all the dishes away. "Oh dear, Wendy, these were all your favourite foods before. A fairy would never eat such things." Finally, Wendy only ate a fistful of vegetables to finish her lunch. She glanced sideways at my bowl. "Rose, are you a pig eating so much?" But then again, with your looks, no one would want you anyway. You might as well eat more and turn into a pig. I shoveled a few more mouthfuls of rice into my mouth. Wendy, are you kidding? You're my own sister. Even if you lose weight, you'll still look about 50 or 60% like me. Insulting me is basically insulting yourself. Wendy shot up from her seat and pointed a finger at me. Before she could get a word out, her head started spinning. She covered her head. Rose, it's all your fault. You're such a jinx, none of my business. After returning home, Wendy posted selfies on her social media every day. Someone commented, "Is it fun to post your sister's photos every day? Who hasn't seen you before?" Angered, Wendy posted several videos in a row to prove that the photos were indeed of her. She had been very successful in losing weight. Within a couple of days, she posted another update on her social media. "I always knew that my brother would always have me in his heart." The image is their chat history. And the personal other end is the boy she has had a crush on for a long time. "Wendy, did you successfully lose weight? Is that really you in the moments?" "Yes, brother, it's the real deal, chut shoot." "Wow, I could tell back in school that you were special. Will you be my girlfriend?" "Ugh, brother, you're so blunt." Not long after posting, a mutual friend commented below, "What a jerk. He has a girlfriend he's been with for years. Didn't you know? Block him right away, you deserve better. He was just talking about getting married last week." Wendy didn't believe it. Half an hour later, she posted another moment on her social media. "Are you all just jealous that I'm in a relationship with my brother? I noticed you all had ill intentions back in school. Do you really think my brother would lie to me?" Another chat record was attached. She went directly to ask the man, and naturally she received a denial. He claimed that his relationship with his ex was just for fun and that they had already broken up. As for getting married, it was just a rumor. He had never thought about marrying his girlfriend. He also made some scumbag remarks saying that before meeting Wendy, he never had any thoughts of getting married. He completely charmed Wendy. That very night, she was ready to pack up and move in with the scumbag. "My mom won't let me." "Wendy, is that man rich? What are you going there for when he has nothing? You're as beautiful as a fairy right now. He's simply not worthy of you. What you should do is find a rich man." Wendy refused to do it, lying on the ground throwing a tantrum, wailing and howling. Finally, taking advantage of my mom's inattention, she dashed out the door in a flash. My mom was so angry that she came to my room to scold me. She said I wasn't acting like an older sister and didn't even try to stop my younger sister, saying I'm selfish, always thinking only of myself. If anything happens to Wendy, I'm the first one responsible. I have to take full responsibility. I replied with a few words calmly. It's not like I gave birth to them, so what's it to me? My mom was so angry she choked up, swaying a couple of times and nearly fainting. She could only go out and take it out on my dad. But while my dad was a block of wood in front of outsiders, at home he was a real tyrant. The two quickly got into a heated argument. It wasn't until the neighborhood committee came to mediate that things finally calmed down. I chuckled to myself in the room. Tomorrow, these two will be the talk of the neighborhood aunties while they snack on sunflower seeds. After running out, Wendy moved into the scumbag's house. The next day, she posted on social media showing the two of them holding hands with fingers interlocked. True love is never late. She even specifically included a photo of her exposed neck with 2 hickeys on it. Less than a week later, something went wrong. Wendy was beaten and sent to the hospital. When we arrived, Wendy was in agony on the hospital bed. Her hair was disheveled and her body was covered in scratches. Another woman stood by, pointing at her and shouting angrily. Saliva was flying everywhere. As for her dear brother, his face was swollen like a pig's head. He stood beside the woman like a quail, not daring to utter a single word. My mother pushed the woman aside and threw herself onto Wendy's bedside. "Oh my dear Wendy, how did you get beaten up like this?" The woman sneered, grabbed my mother's shoulder and slapped her across the face. "So, you're this bitch's mother. No wonder you look like a circumflex too. I'm going to rid the world of scum today. Let's see how you two a circumflex can go seducing others anymore." Wendy let out a loud wail, looking sorrowfully at that scumbag. "Brother, say something. We were truly in love. Hurry up and tell him you don't love him at all. You love me." The woman slapped the scumbag hard with a loud crack. Blood seeped from the corner of the scumbag's mouth as he pointed at Wendy and cursed. "What nonsense are you spouting? It was clearly you who seduced me. My wife and I have a great relationship. If it weren't for you, how could I have done something to betray her? You're a shameless a circumflex, a home wrecker." My mom finally snapped out of the shock from that slap just now. He sprang up and struck at the woman. Soon the two were fighting each other. I only regret not bringing any sunflower seeds. The doctors and nurses couldn't hold him back, so they had to call the police. My mom and that woman were both taken away. Mutual brawl. How many days of detention? Wendy cried her heart out at home every day, making it seem like I'm the heroine of some monster youth novel. She eagerly awaits that scumbag to contact her every day. After my mom was released, she was still blamed for taking action that day. Just take the beating from that woman. Brother was being threatened. If you make a scene at the police station, my brother will never want anything to do with me again. Mom, I don't mean to criticize you, but you've lived for decades and still don't know how to behave properly, still so impatient. With a sharp slap, my mother raised her hand and struck Wendy hard across the face. This was the first time in over 20 years that my mother had laid a hand on Wendy. This one strike was no small matter. It directly knocked Wendy unconscious. My mother panicked, frantically calling for an ambulance. She cried while insisting that she hadn't used much force. Going to the hospital is no big deal. They just said it's due to malnutrition. Wendy's weight has dropped again. It's now less than 90 lb. Standing at 57 in tall, she weighs less than 90 lb. After returning home, my mom made it up to her by cooking a big table full of fish and meat. Wendy still went to the bathroom to vomit as soon as she smelled it. She said she couldn't stand even a hint of greasy smell. Her appetite had shrunk again. I used to be able to eat a fistful of vegetables, but now I can only manage a spoonful. My mother was heartbroken. She forced her to eat a big bowl of rice and dishes unexpectedly. As soon as she finished eating, she vomited it all up, sprayed all over the table. My dad hadn't even had time to take a few bites before the meal was completely ruined. He flipped the table over directly. If you can't a circumflex, eat then get out. And you old woman, she already said she couldn't eat. Why are you forcing her? Wendy ate less and less. A month later, she couldn't even eat a spoonful of food. She would vomit whatever little she ate. Her weight had also dropped to a pitiful state, became skin and bones. My mom wanted to send Wendy to the hospital for a checkup. Wendy absolutely refused to go, saying nonchalantly, "This is perfectly normal for me. Weighing just over 70 lb is just right. It looks amazing on camera, not like that fat pig, Rose." She glanced at me and sneered. "Rose, you're so fat, who would want you? Why don't you lose some weight?" "Oh my God, I have a pig aversion just looking at you. I can even smell the grease," I sneered. "Yes, you're the skinniest. Even if you were as thin as a rail, your Mr. Right still hasn't shown up." Wendy fantasizes every day about a Mr. Right who is powerful, wealthy, handsome and tall. And she doesn't eat, not just because she can't bring herself to. There's another reason. She wants to be a fairy, and fairies can survive on just dew. Her current goal is to develop in the direction of being satisfied with just drinking dew. I glanced at Wendy's ID card. She is indeed 22 years old. One would think she's only 5 years old. What on earth is going on in her mind? How can someone be this foolish? Probably because her brain is as smooth as a marble without a single wrinkle. But Wendy wasn't the only one with this idea. The girls from the previous weight loss camp all had the same thought as her. When I signed up, I checked their ages. They were all in their 20s, that's for sure. The youngest is also 19 years old. How could there be such an absurd idea? Do you really think you can become an immortal? Another half a month passed. Wendy's weight is already close to dropping below 70 lb. Her complexion was unnaturally pale. Every day she would just lie in bed taking selfies and videos. People in her social circle advised her to eat more. They said she had become frighteningly thin. Not only did she not listen, but she also gave those people a good scolding, saying they were jealous of her beauty. I shook my head. Wendy is beyond saving, but who would have thought there are actually people who like her bony frame? She has a fan on her social media account. He praises her tirelessly every day. Wendy quickly falls in love with him. I've watched Wendy's live stream on social media. There aren't many people, just her boyfriend, who showers her with gifts every day. He's very generous. That afternoon, Wendy excitedly told us, "Mom and Dad, I'm about to become a top-tier person. You just wait to enjoy the good life." When looking at me, the raised corners of his mouth immediately dropped. "As for you, Rose, don't even think about it. I don't want to bring you along to enjoy the good life." Oh, she said her boyfriend would come to see her this afternoon. He will also bring him to our house to meet the parents. Wendy clasped her hands together and closed her eyes. "You have no idea how handsome he is. I heard he's the son of some wealthy family. He loves me so much. He insists on marrying no one but me." My intuition told me there was something fishy about this, but what does that have to do with me? I'll see how Wendy gets into trouble. That evening, Wendy brought her boyfriend home. He is indeed a wealthy young man. He has an extraordinary demeanor and a striking appearance, wearing all sorts of high-end brands I don't recognize. He came to the door carrying several large bags. Among them were several bottles of Matai, which made my father incredibly happy. At the dinner table, he barely ate anything. Wendy didn't eat either, and the two of them were being all lovey-dovey on the chair. My mother hesitated for a long time before finally advising, Mr. Smith, Wendy can't go without eating. You should really try to persuade her. I know that in wealthy families like yours, children are the most important. Wendy won't be able to have a child in this state. Mr. Smith rubbed his knuckles and said with a smile, Auntie, you don't have to worry about that. Once Wendy marries into our family, she'll have the best nutritionist to take care of her health. Though it was fleeting, I caught a flicker of murderous intent in his eyes. I'm certain I didn't misread it. I quickly shoveled a few mouthfuls of food and prepared to return to my room. Young Master Smith called out to me, Sister Wendy, wait a moment. My whole body stiffened and I halted in my tracks. Your name is Rose, right? Would you be interested in coming to our Smith family with Wendy? I have a brother. He paused and said with a smile, he's like me. He likes girls with Wendy's body type. If you want to join our Smith family, you'll need to lose weight. I hadn't even spoken yet and Wendy was already displeased. She tugged at young Master Smith's sleeve, acting coquettishly. Brother, why are you bothering with her? Even though she's my sister, she's always opposing me. I don't want to see her in the Smith family. I hate her. I quickly spoke up. I have no intention of marrying into a wealthy family. Please enjoy your meal. I fled back to my room as if escaping. Locking the door behind me, leaning against the wall, I gasped for breath, my back soaked in cold sweat. Mr. Smith's gaze from earlier still echoed in my mind. It's freezing cold like a lurking beast. When he looked at Wendy, it was as if he was looking at food. I shivered, not daring to think further. Getting up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, I heard noises coming from Wendy's room. Brother, don't you like my figure? Why won't you even touch me when I'm completely naked? Mr. Smith swallowed hard. Wendy, our Smith family is a respectable household. I won't touch you before you marry into the family. My scalp tingled and I hurried into the bathroom. When I came out, I saw Mr. Smith standing quietly at the door in the moonlight. What a coincidence. Rose, he gave me a smirk. Why you? Hello. I walked past him, heading back to my room. Do you have some issue with our Smith family? Why? Have you been avoiding me all this time? Or have you discovered something? Mr. Smith stood right behind me, softly uttering these words. My hair stood on end instantly. Cold sweat poured down, my mind raced, and the words slipped out. You're Wendy's fiancé, Tilda copyright, so you should keep your distance. Besides, I never liked her to begin with, so I ended up disliking you too. Sorry. After saying that, I turned and ran back to my room without looking back. As I closed the door, I saw Mr. Smith looking at me with a faint, ambiguous smile. A chill ran down my spine as if I were being watched by a wild beast. Goosebumps rose along my arm. I rubbed my arms and climbed into bed. Slipping under the covers, it was still safer under the covers, fortunately. They will be leaving tomorrow. The next day, my mother couldn't wait for them to get their marriage certificate right away. She didn't care whether there was a wedding ceremony or not, but the certificate had to be obtained first. However, Mr. Smith said there was no rush and that he needed to go home to find someone to choose an auspicious date. Watching the luxury car drive away, my anxious heart finally settled. This Smith family is truly terrifying. My mother looked at me with her nose held high in the air. Wendy is the one with a future. Look at you, what use are you? Our family's wealth and prosperity still depend on your sister, but I won't take you to the Smith family so Wendy won't be annoyed. I shook my head and walked quickly ahead. You can slowly enjoy the Smith family's wealth and prosperity. Half a month later, Wendy and Mr. Smith got their marriage certificate. There was no news of a wedding. Mr. Smith quickly sent someone to pick up her parents. Before leaving, you still want to take me with you. Rose, if you come to our Smith family, you will enjoy endless wealth and honor. Even if you don't marry into the family, it would be good for you to live here. I waved my hand. Forget it. I won't go and make myself unwelcome. If I go, Wendy will get angry again. You don't want her to be upset, do you? After returning, I quickly packed my things and went to the company. I applied for the company's staff dormitory. I didn't dare to stay at home alone anymore, afraid of being taken away in a sack in the middle of the night. At first, when they went to the Smith family, they were still frantically showing off on their social media. Later, the news gradually disappeared. A colleague asked me, I always say my family has gone to enjoy good life with my sister. One midnight 3 months later, I was awakened by the ringing of my phone. It was Wendy calling. At a time like this, I wouldn't answer. Nothing good will come of it. She seemed unwilling to give up, calling again and again. The third call rang twice before being hung up. Early the next morning, I finally called her back. As I expected, it was Mr. Smith who answered. I asked him what was going on. As I had slept too soundly last night and missed Wendy's call, he chuckled on the other end, seemingly puzzled. Nothing much. She probably just had a nightmare in the middle of the night. If you're worried, you can come to the Smith family to see her when you have time. I quickly refused. No, going there would just lead to arguments. It's better not to see her. After that, I never received a call from anyone in the family again, nor did I search online for any news about the weight loss camp or the other girls. 6 months later, something happened to the Smith family. It was another parent from a different weight loss camp who reported the Smith family. The SWAT team surrounded their house overnight. Several girls covered in blood were rescued. His body was covered in ravines as if the flesh had been scooped out with a spoon. And those girls were all from the weight loss camp. The only one missing was Wendy. It turned out that the weight loss camp was also part of the Smith family. They injected these overweight girls with large doses of hormonal drugs. This caused them to lose weight rapidly and gradually develop an aversion to food. They could only eat a few leaves of vegetables and drink some water. All of this was done to satisfy the Smith family's perverse preferences, saying, "Such a girl can prolong life." One of the girl's parents discovered something suspicious and voluntarily became an undercover agent for the police. Unfortunately, it was still a step too late. Wendy was not rescued. Simon was arrested and put on trial. They announced to the public that Wendy had fallen from the building and my father happened to be downstairs and was crushed to death. The next time I saw them was in their urns. My mother went insane. She's been acting crazy every day. I sent her to a nursing home. Within a few days, I heard from the caregivers that she had run out again to pick up trash. Helpless, I went to the nursing home to see her once. She hugged her arms, shivering. It took a long time to finally recognize me. "Rose, save your sister. Your sister has been eaten. Ah, your dad has been beaten to death. Every time she talks about this, she covers her head and starts screaming. I listened, sweating profusely. I quickly turned around and left. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. On the first day of school, I skipped the opening ceremony and went straight to the hospital to schedule a full-body liposuction surgery. In my previous life, my campus belle best friend was a binge eater, indulging in food and drink every day. Yet her weight always stayed at 90 lb. As for me, I gained weight just by drinking water, and my weight eventually soared to 300 lb. I lost my guaranteed admission as a national-level dance prodigy and became the laughingstock of the entire school. The crush I secretly admired publicly humiliated me, saying, "Your fat is truly disgusting." My parents took me for a checkup, but no cause was found. They scolded me for willingly degrading myself and cut off all ties with me. I finally discovered that whenever my roommate ate, I was the one who always gained weight. I confronted her with the evidence, but she pushed me down hard in the stairwell, causing my heart to stop and leading to my death when I opened my eyes again. I had returned to the day I first entered university and became her roommate. What did you say? Full-body liposuction. The doctor's pen clattered onto the desk. He adjusted his glasses and looked at me as if I were insane. "Student, you look perfectly well proportioned. There's absolutely no need for such a procedure." I calmly looked at him and handed over my bank card. "Doctor, I have an appointment. Money is no issue. I want the fastest possible." Memories from my past life surged like a tide, churning in my mind while my best friend, the campus belle Lisa, was devouring fried chicken and pizza in the dorm. I was in the dance studio and in front of everyone, the seam of my pants split with a loud rip. The crush of my life, Jack, frowned in disgust. "Sarah, your fat body is truly disgusting." I went from being a nationally recognized dance prodigy to a 300 lb monster. Lost my guaranteed admission, was disowned by my parents, and was finally pushed down the stairs by Lisa with a smile. "Sarah, your fat is my beauty." The suffocating feeling of cardiac arrest still feels like it was just yesterday. I close my eyes, then open them again, leaving only a cold hatred in my gaze. "Doctor, my mind is made up." After completing all the formalities, I drag my suitcase back to the dormitory. Pushing open the door, two unfamiliar faces look over my other two roommates. "Hello, my name is Mia." "My name is Jenny." I nodded in greeting and walked straight to the empty bed. Just then, a clear bell-like laugh came from outside the door. "I'm back. I brought you the most delicious cream cake." Lisa walked in. She was wearing a beautiful princess dress with long hair reaching her waist. Skin so fair it seemed to glow, and was as lovely as a doll, exactly the same as in her previous life. As soon as she entered, her gaze immediately and precisely locked onto me. "Oh, you must be our last roommate, Sarah. Right, hello, I'm Lisa." She smiled and handed the cake in her hand to me. "Here, try this. It's the signature dessert from this shop. A total calorie bomb, but it's so delicious it'll make you fly." A strange, expectant light flickered in her eyes. In my past life, I accepted that piece of cake and fell into the abyss from then on. I looked at her, a cold curve forming at the corner of my mouth. "No, thank you," I pushed her hand away. "I'm on a diet." Lisa's smile froze for a moment. "Sarah, what's wrong? Do you not like me?" Lisa's eyes instantly re-end and she looked at me with a pitiful expression as if I had done something unforgivable. Roommate Mia immediately stepped in to smooth things over. "Sarah, Lisa meant well. She waited in line for a long time just to buy this." Jenny chimed in. "Yeah, it's just a piece of cake, don't be so ungracious." Lisa quickly took the opportunity to save face, handing the cake to them. "It's fine. Maybe Sarah just doesn't like sweets. You guys eat it, don't let it go to waste." As she spoke, she glanced at me out of the corner of her eye, her gaze filled with resentment. I sneered inwardly. Sure enough, it's the same old green tea tactics. In the evening, Lisa ordered a large table of takeout to make up for the dormitory relationship. Spicy, hot pot, barbecue, fried chicken, milk tea, almost covering the entire dormitory table. "Today's on me. Everyone eat to your heart's content," she said with an exceptionally bright smile. Mia and Jenny cheered and the dormitory was instantly filled with the enticing aroma of food. I put on my headphones, staring at the book with an expressionless face, completely ignoring everything happening before me. Lisa kept observing me while devouring her food. "Sarah, are you really not going to eat? This tripe is absolutely delicious. This roasted chicken wing is absolutely amazing." I didn't pay any attention to her, but gradually a familiar and terrifying feeling began to creep in, even though my stomach was completely empty. It started to swell uncontrollably, breathing grew heavy, the jeans around my waist tightening as if an invisible hand were desperately stuffing things into my body. I abruptly stood up and rushed into the bathroom. In the mirror, my face visibly rounded, the jawline beginning to blur. I lifted my shirt, my once flat stomach slightly swollen. The curse has begun. Whenever Lisa eats, it's always me who gains weight. In my past life, I watched helplessly as I transformed from a promising dancer into a bloated, useless wreck. Fear and rage made my entire body tremble. No, I can't go on like this anymore. I rushed out of the bathroom and under Lisa's astonished gaze, grabbed my phone and wallet before running outside. "Sarah, where are you going?" I didn't respond. I rushed downstairs as fast as I could and dialed the hospital's number. "Doctor, it's me, Sarah." My voice trembled with urgency. "I need the surgery immediately right now." "Miss Chen, please calm down. The surgery needs to be scheduled." "And you, I'll pay extra," I interrupted the doctor. My voice is cold as ice. "I will donate a building to your hospital, as long as you perform the surgery for me tonight." There was silence on the other end of the line. My family is well off, with both parents being successful business people. While donating a building might be an exaggeration, I can certainly afford a sponsorship fee of several $100,000 or even $1 million. Living a second life, wealth is but an external possession. I just want to reclaim my own life. Half an hour later, a black car pulled up at the school gate. I got into the car and headed straight for the hospital. In the VIP ward, the hospital director and several chief physicians were already waiting for me. I signed one consent form and disclaimer after another. "I have only one request." I looked at them. "Extract every single gram of fat from my body that can be extracted. Not a single gram should remain." Just as I was being wheeled into the operating room, my phone rang. It's Jack, the crush I had throughout high school. I answered the call but remained silent. His impatient and mocking voice came through the phone. "Sarah, Lisa said you're not feeling well and ran out alone. What kind of play hard to get game are you up to again? Throwing a tantrum on the first day of school. Do you think that makes you special?" I listened quietly. The words he used to humiliate me publicly in my past life still echoing in my ears. "Your fat body is truly disgusting." Back then my heart was shattered into pieces, but now I just find it laughable, Jack. I spoke softly, my voice calm and steady. "Do you know how a pig squeals?" He froze. "What? You'll find out soon." I hung up the phone and turned it off. The anesthetic slowly entered my body, and in the last moment of fading consciousness I smiled. When I woke up again, I was wrapped in bandages all over like a mummy. The wound burned with a sharp pain, Yet I felt an unprecedented sense of relief. I lay in the hospital bed, resting for a full week. A week later, I removed the bandages and stood in front of the mirror. The girl in the reflection was slender, still slightly swollen, but her delicate collarbones and defined waistline were already clearly visible. I'm back. After completing the discharge procedures, I returned to school. When I pushed open the dormitory door, Lisa was sitting at the table with a family bucket in front of her. Upon seeing me, her eyes lit up instantly, and she immediately grabbed a chicken leg, taking a big, hearty bite. She looked at me triumphantly, waiting to see me swell and distort into a pitiful state. Once again, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I stood in place, motionless, with no change in my body. Lisa's expression shifted from smugness to confusion. She quickly devoured another whole chicken leg. I still showed no reaction. Suddenly, Lisa's expression changed. She let out an ugh, clutched her stomach, and bent over with a pained expression. Her beautiful white dress seemed to tighten a bit around the waist. Lisa's face instantly turned pale. She looked at me in disbelief, then lowered her head to glance at her slightly swollen belly. How could this be? She murmured to herself, her eyes filled with fear and confusion. I stood at the door, arms crossed, watching her coldly. What's wrong, Lisa? Did you eat too fast and get indigestion? My voice was not loud, but it struck her heart like a heavy hammer. Mia and Jenny also noticed something was wrong. Lisa, are you okay? Why is your face so pale? Lisa suddenly snapped back to reality, hurriedly covering her stomach with her hands, forcing out a smile that was uglier than crying. No, it's nothing. Maybe I just ate too fast. She quickly gathered up the family bucket on the table. I'm feeling a bit unwell. I'm going to lie down on the bed for a while. She practically fled to her bed, pulled the curtain shut, and completely isolated herself. The smile on my lips deepened. It seems my guess was right. In the following days, the atmosphere in the dormitory became extremely strange. Lisa no longer brought any snacks or takeout back. She even started eating boiled vegetables for every meal with a smaller appetite than mine, but her weight changed like a balloon being blown up, different every day. First, her pretty oval face turned into a chubby round one. Then, her slender waist developed a swimming ring, and her once proud long legs also thickened. All those beautiful princess dresses she used to wear no longer fit her now. Every morning she was the first to get up, spending a long time in the bathroom, and I could clearly hear the muffled, heartbroken sobs coming from inside. As for me, it was the complete opposite. I persisted in going to the dance studio every day to practice, and my body grew lighter day by day. With my overall condition improving as well, the joints that had once stiffened due to obesity became soft and strong again. I regained the confidence and joy I felt when dancing. That day, as soon as I stepped out of the dance studio, I ran straight into Jack. When he saw me, a flicker of admiration flashed in his eyes, but it quickly gave way to his usual arrogance. Sarah, what's been going on with you lately? Lisa says you've been bullying her, making her so upset she can't even eat. I looked at him and couldn't help but find it amusing. She can't eat, I retorted. Does she look like someone who can't eat? Jack frowned and followed my gaze. Not far away, Lisa was just coming out of the cafeteria. She was wearing a loose tracksuit, trying to hide her weight gain, but still looked quite bloated. Jack's expression instantly became extremely lissad. He opened his mouth as if wanting to say something, but in the end he just stared at Lisa's retreating figure in disbelief. At that moment, Lisa also saw us. Her body stiffened. Her eyes darted away, and she instinctively tried to avoid us, but it was already too late. I smiled and waved at her. Lisa, what a coincidence. Lisa's face instantly flushed to a purplish red color. She looked at my radiant self, then glanced at the shocked Jack beside her, her eyes nearly overflowing with jealousy and resentment. She finally couldn't hold back any longer. Lisa quickly rushed up to me, lowered her voice, and squeezed out a few words through gritted teeth. Sarah, what on earth have you done to me? What have I done? I feigned surprise, looking at her with an innocent expression. Lisa, what nonsense are you talking about? I've been recuperating in the hospital and only returned to school a few days ago. What could I possibly have done to you? I blinked, my tone filled with concern. On the contrary, have you been experiencing hormonal imbalances lately? Why have you gained so much weight? Do you want me to accompany you to the hospital for a checkup? Lisa trembled with anger, her plump face contorted by rage. Jack watched us from the side, his gaze complicated. He looked at Lisa with her bloated figure and ferocious expression, then at me, standing tall and composed, and his brow furrowed tightly. Lisa, you have indeed gained a bit of weight lately, he said hesitantly. This sentence became the last straw that broke Lisa. Jack, even you look down on me, she screamed, tears instantly welling up. It's all her. It's all Sarah who ruined me." She pointed at me hysterically, completely ignoring the strange looks from the people around her. I sighed and shook my head. "Lisa, I know you've been under a lot of pressure lately, but you can't just talk nonsense." I grabbed Jack's arm and pulled him back. "Let's go first, don't provoke her any further." Jack, being pulled by me, followed along as if bewitched, even after walking a long way. We could still hear Lisa's hysterical cries behind us. "Jack, come back, let me explain." Jack's expression was grim. "She wasn't like this before." He muttered. "People change," I replied calmly. From that day on, Lisa became the laughingstock of the entire school. The former campus belle had turned into an overreading, out-of-shape fat girl, and was even suspected of having mental issues. As for me, having regained my figure, and with my outstanding dance skills, I quickly stood out among the freshmen at the school's welcome party. I was chosen as the lead dancer for the opening performance. After the news broke, Lisa smashed all her cosmetics in the dormitory. Why, that position should have been mine. She glared at me with re-end eyes. "Sarah, don't get too pleased with yourself. I won't let you off easy." I ignored her and went straight to the dance studio. I know she won't let it go. On the day of the welcome party, I put on my makeup, changed into a beautiful performance outfit, and made final preparations backstage. 10 minutes before the show started, a staff member handed me a bottle of water. "Miss Chen, have some water too. Soothe your throat." I smiled and took it, saying thank you. As I unscrewed the cap, I caught a faint, strange sweetness in the air. I paused mid-action, looked up and met Lisa's malicious gaze from not far away. Jack stood beside her and both of them were watching me with sly smiles on their faces. I sneered inwardly, taking a small, nonchalant sip of water from the bottle. Then, right in front of them, I poured the remaining water into the potted plant beside me. Lisa's expression instantly changed. I raised the empty bottle toward her, shook it and tossed it into the trash can. My lips silently formed the words to her, "You lost." Lisa's face twisted with anger. She shot me a fierce glare, then grabbed Jack's hand and stormed off. I knew this was only the beginning. Sure enough, when it was my turn to take the stage, an unexpected incident occurred. The music started and I danced to the rhythm as the spotlight shone on me. Just as I was performing a difficult jump, the stage beneath my feet suddenly slipped. A gasp of surprise came from the audience. My heart skipped a beat, and relying on a dancer's instinctive reflexes, I forcibly adjusted my posture in midair, though I landed on the ground in an awkward tumble. Thankfully, I wasn't injured. As the lights came on, I saw a puddle of transparent oil on the spot where I had just slipped. I raised my head, my gaze shooting toward the side stage like a sharp sword. Lisa and Jack were standing there, their faces unable to conceal their smugness and malice. It's them again in my past life. They destroyed my stage and my life step by step. Just like this, the host hurriedly stepped onto the stage to smooth things over while staff members also came up to check. I slowly stood up from the ground and brushed the dust off my clothes. When everyone thought I would leave the stage in tears, I walked to the center instead. I spoke calmly into the microphone. "Sorry, there was a little accident." My gaze swept across the stage, finally settling on Lisa and Jack. Some people, even when they are standing in the gutter themselves, cannot bear to see others in the spotlight. They will use every despicable means to drag others into the mud. But a true dancer will not be easily defeated. I took a deep breath and said to the sound engineer, "Teacher, please start the music again." The entire room fell silent. A few seconds later, thunderous applause echoed throughout the auditorium. The music started again. I took off my oil-stained dance shoes and danced barefoot on the stage once more, freed from the constraints of shoes. My movements became more fluid and powerful. Every spin, every leap carried the fire of unyielding anger and rebirth. It was a dance full of vitality. I saw the audience below the stage from surprise to shock and then to enchantment. I saw the approving gazes of the teachers. I also saw Lisa and Jack, their faces twisted with jealousy and failure. As the dance ended, I stood at the center of the stage with applause that seemed to go on forever. I knew I had won. Not only had I won this performance, but I had also reclaimed the dignity that was rightfully mine. After the evening event, I was called into the office by my counselor. "Sarah, you performed very well today, staying calm in the face of danger, showing great leadership." The counselor said to me with a smile. "However, the school will thoroughly investigate the oil stain on the stage and give you an explanation." I nodded. "Thank you, teacher." Stepping out of the office, I saw Jack waiting for me at the door. He seemed a bit uneasy, not daring to meet my eyes. "Sarah, what is it?" I interrupted him coldly. He was taken aback by my attitude, his expression turning somewhat unpleasant. What happened on stage wasn't my doing. He defended himself. It was Lisa. She did it herself. I couldn't stop her. His eagerness to distance himself from the situation was both laughable and pitiful. Oh, I raised an eyebrow. Then what about that bottle of water laced with laxatives backstage? Wasn't that handed to you? Jack's face instantly turned pale. How did you know? Not only do I know there's laxative in the water, I stepped closer to him, staring into his eyes. I also know what you're planning. You want to humiliate me on stage, make me soil myself in front of the entire school, right? My voice was soft, yet it cut like a knife, carving into his heart piece by piece. Jack's body began to tremble, cold sweat beating on his forehead. You're just an accomplice. I finished the second half of the sentence for him. A coward who hurts an old love just to please a new one. Jack, you really disgusted me. Jack was so embarrassed by my scolding that he couldn't utter a single word. His gaze at me was filled with shame, anger, and something even he hadn't noticed. Regret. I couldn't be bothered to spare him another glance and turned to leave. When I returned to the dorm, Lisa was already there. As soon as she saw me, she started speaking in a sarcastic tone. Hey, our big star is back. How did it feel to take a tumble on stage? Mia and Jenny sat awkwardly nearby, not daring to speak. I ignored her and walked straight to my desk. Turning on the computer, seeing that I was ignoring her, Lisa became even more enthusiastic. Sarah, don't think you've won just like that. I'm telling you, as long as I'm here for a day, you won't have it easy. Is that so? I finally turned around, looked at her, a strange smile on my face. I clicked the mouse. The next second, Lisa's own voice came from the computer. That curse. Whenever I eat, she's the one who gets fat. Why does she have everything from birth? Money, talent, while I can only be her sidekick. I want to ruin her. I want to take everything she has. This was recorded by the voice recorder I had hidden in the dorm earlier. Lisa's voice echoed in the small dorm room crystal clear. Her expression shifted from arrogance to shock and then to a deathly pause. Mia and Jenny were also stunned, their mouths agape as they stared at Lisa in disbelief. Lisa, what did you just mean by that? Mia stammered. What curse? Who will be the one to get fat? Lisa's body trembled like a sieve as she frantically lunged forward, trying to turn off my computer. No, I didn't say that. She forged it. I pushed her away and turned the volume up to the maximum. Jack, that fool really thinks I like him. I'm just using him. Once I've drained him dry, I'll kick him to the curb. That a circumflex actually went and got liposuction. She had all her fat sucked out, causing me to suffer backlash. No, I must find a way to make her gain weight again, one after another. The malicious and insane recordings completely tore apart the sweet and charming facade Lisa usually wore. The looks in Mia and Jenny's eyes had shifted from shock to fear and disgust. Lisa, you're too terrifying. We actually lived with such a malicious person for so long. They quickly packed their belongings and fled the dormitory as if escaping. In the dormitory, only Lisa and I remained with her slumped on the floor. She looked at me in a daze, her eyes hollow and vacant. Sarah, you've won. She gave a bitter smile. Are you feeling very pleased with yourself right now? I walked up to her and looked down at her from above. Pleased? No, I shook my head. I've merely reclaimed everything that rightfully belonged to me. As for you, I paused, speaking each word deliberately. Your retribution has only just begun. I made a copy of the recording and posted it directly on the school forum. The title was shocking. The pure school beauty turns out to be a vicious witch who cast a curse on me. As soon as the post went up, it instantly blew up the entire campus network. Holy crap. What kind of fantasy plot is this? A curse? Is it real or fake? I've listened to the recordings and this Lisa is just too vicious. My heart goes out to the original poster. No wonder Lisa has gained so much weight recently. Could it be the curse backfiring? Hilarious, serves her right. I used to think Sarah was a bit aloof, but now it seems she was just forced into it. Public opinion instantly swung overwhelmingly in one direction. Lisa became a public enemy that everyone wanted to drive away. As she walked down the street, she was met with pointing fingers and hushed whispers everywhere she went. Jack was also implicated, labelled as a scumbag and an accomplice, and was looked down upon wherever he went. The next day, the school called me in for a talk. The expressions of the counselor and the department head were both very serious. Student Sarah, we are already aware of the matter on the forum regarding the improper methods used by student Lisa against you. The school will definitely handle it seriously. However, the counselor changed the subject. This kind of thing involving feudal superstition has a rather negative impact. Do you think you could delete the post? I looked at them and smiled. Teacher, what if what was destroyed today wasn't my figure, but my life? What if Lisa had put poison in my water instead of laxatives? Would you still think this is just a matter of bad influence? The counsellor and the department head were left speechless by my questions. I won't delete the post, I said firmly. Not only will I not delete it, but I'm also going to report it to the police. I'm going to sue her for intentional harm for attempted murder. That very afternoon, I went to the police station. When I handed the recording and all the evidence to the police, their eyes were also filled with sympathy. The police quickly filed a case and summoned Lisa and Jack. Lisa's parents also rushed over from out of town. They were a seemingly ordinary working-class couple. They stopped me at the entrance of the police station and her mother immediately knelt down before me. "Sarah, I beg you, please let our Lisa go. She's still young. She just made a mistake in the heat of the moment." Lisa's father stood nearby, his eyes red, bowing to me repeatedly. "It's our fault for not raising her properly. We LLs compensate you whatever amount you want. Please be merciful and give her a way out." I watched them coldly. In my past life, my parents were the same. They gave up on me for the sake of their so-called reputation. But now Lisa's parents are willing to set aside all their dignity for their daughter. How ironic, Auntie, when she pushed me down the stairs and wanted me dead. Why didn't you think she was too young when she used curses to ruin my life? Why didn't you think she was confused? I shook off her hand, my voice devoid of any warmth. "Now you come begging, it's too late. Your daughter will pay the price in prison for everything she has done." After saying that, I stopped looking at them and walked straight into the police station. Inside the police station, Lisa and Jack were separated for interrogation. As the victim, I waited in another room. Not long after, a female police officer walked in. She appeared to be around 30 years old, with a capable demeanor and sharp eyes. "Hello, Sarah, my name is Bella and I'm in charge of this case." She sat down across from me and opened her notebook. "We've listened to your recording and conducted a preliminary interrogation of Lisa. She said the curse she used was purchased from someone called Spirit Granny Spirit Medium." I frowned. I had never heard of this name before. "Yes," Bella nodded. "According to Lisa's description, this spirit medium is extremely mysterious, conducting transactions online and selling some very sinister items. We suspect that this may involve a group using feudal superstitions to commit fraud and crimes." My heart sank. I had originally thought that all of this was just Lisa's jealousy and malice alone. I never expected that there would be even more complicated matters involved behind the scenes. Lisa said that it was Jack who introduced her to this spirit medium. Bella continued. "Jack," I was stunned. "How could this be possible? Jack comes from an ordinary family background, so how could he know someone like this?" "Yes," Bella's expression was very serious. "Jack initially denied it, but under our repeated questioning he finally confessed. He said that his mother is one of the members of this criminal organization." I felt as if struck by lightning. My mind went completely blank. Jack's mother. I've seen her a few times. She's a very gentle and simple middle-aged woman. How could she? Jack's mother was obsessed with some unorthodox practices in her early years and later joined this organization. Jack grew up influenced by this and knew a bit about it. He was jealous of your family background and talent, and he also took a liking to Lisa's beauty. So he came up with this malicious plan. He had his mother obtain that shared fat goo and gave it to Lisa. He thought that by doing this he could both destroy you and keep Lisa firmly under his control. Bella sighed. He just didn't expect that Lisa would be even more greedy and malicious than he imagined. And you turned out to be stronger and smarter than they ever thought. I sat in the chair remaining silent for a long time. So that's how it is from beginning to end. I was just a pawn in their plan, a sacrifice in my past life. That was exactly how they joined forces to push me into hell. Overwhelming hatred and lingering fear left me chilled to the bone. "What punishment will they face?" I asked. My voice hoarse. "Lisa is suspected of intentional injury, and the evidence is solid. She faces at least 3 years in prison. Jack is the mastermind, and the circumstances are even more severe. As for his mother and that so-called spirit medium organization, our police have established a special task force. We will definitely round them all up and bring them to justice." Bella looked at me, her eyes carrying a hint of comfort. "Sarah, rest assured, justice may be delayed, but it will never be absent." I nodded, my eyes growing a bit warm. Yes, in this lifetime, I personally sought justice for myself. The follow-up progress of the case was swift. Under Jack's identification, the police followed the clues and quickly dismantled the criminal gang led by the spirit medium. Jack's mother was also arrested and brought to justice. It turned out that the so-called shared fat goo was not some mystical curse at all, but a rare fungus that could affect human metabolism. They planted the parent body of this fungus on Lisa and then transmitted the offspring to me through the food she had touched. The offspring multiplied within my body, wildly disrupting my endocrine system and causing me to become morbidly obese, and that full-body liposuction surgery I underwent while removing a large number of fat cells also inadvertently destroyed the living environment of the offspring fungi, leading to their mass death. This created the illusion of a backlash. The truth was revealed, sending chills down my spine. Lisa and Jack, charged with intentional injury and the dissemination of toxic substances, were sentenced to 7 and 10 years in prison, respectively. With the penalties combined for multiple offences, Jack's mother, as one of the principal offenders in the gang, was sentenced to 15 years. The news came while I was stretching my legs in the dance studio. Sunlight streamed in through the large floor-to-ceiling windows, warm and bright. My life, too, had finally cleared up. That day I received an unexpected phone call. It was from my mother, Sarah. "The things online, we've seen them all." Her voice sounded weary and filled with guilt. "It's our fault. Mom and Dad were wrong to blame you back then. When are you free? Come home for a meal." I listened, quietly saying nothing. "Go home." In my past life, for the sake of their reputation, they scolded me for willingly degrading myself, severed ties with me and left me to fend for myself. Now seeing that my name has been cleared, they want me back. "No need," I spoke faintly. "I have no home." After saying that, I hung up the phone directly. Some wounds once inflicted can never be mended. I will no longer waste any emotion on those who are unworthy. Putting down my phone, I saw someone standing at the entrance of the dance studio. It was Officer Bella. She wasn't wearing her police uniform today, dressed in casual clothes instead, which made her appear much softer. "I came to check on you," she said with a smile as she walked in. "Seeing you in good spirits puts my mind at ease." "Thank you, Officer Bella," I said sincerely. "Just call me Sister Bella," she patted my shoulder. "It's all in the past now. You need to live well from now on." She paused as if remembering something and then spoke. "By the way, there's something I think I should tell you. Lisa in prison. It seems like she's really having mental issues. Every day she talks to the wall saying she's so fat, so ugly, and she keeps crying. No one can console her." I froze for a moment. The doctor said that she had been living in jealousy and resentment for a long time, and with the immense blow, her psychological defenses completely collapsed. Bella looked at me inside. Sometimes the demons in a person's heart are more terrifying than any curse. I didn't say anything, just looked out the window at the clear blue sky, cloudless for miles. Yes, what truly destroyed Lisa was not the backlash nor the law. It was her own heart, long filled with jealousy and malice. University life returned to its normal course without Lisa and Jack. My world became much quieter. I poured all my energy into dance. My professional skills were already top-notch, and with the intense training during this period, I quickly stood out in the department. In my sophomore year, I represented the school in the National College Student Dance Competition with an original modern dance piece titled Nirvana. I won the gold medal. The inspiration for the dance comes from my own experiences, from falling into the abyss to struggling and resisting, and finally breaking free and being reborn. When I stood on the highest podium with the spotlight shining on me, I saw the excited faces of my counselor and department head in the audience. I also saw many classmates cheering for me. Applause and honors enveloped me tightly. This is what I deserve. I seized it from the hands of fate with my own hands. After the competition, a man in a suit approached me. "Hello, Miss Sarah." He handed me a business card. "I am the artistic director of the top domestic dance troupe, Swan. I watched your competition and it was truly spectacular. We sincerely invite you to join us, that the Swan dance troupe that has been my dream since childhood." In my previous life, I was so overweight that I didn't even qualify for their interview, and now they have extended an olive branch to me. Looking at the gilded letters on the business card, my eyes grew a little moist. I nodded vigorously. "I do." I took a leave of absence from school and officially joined the Swan dance troupe. I started as a trainee at the most basic level, spending every day in the practice room, pouring out sweat. Though it was tough, I found it all worthwhile because I knew I was taking step by step toward the stage of my dreams. 2 years later, with my outstanding performance in the dance drama Carmen, I became the principal dancer of the troupe. My posters covered the most prominent billboards in major cities. I became a rising star in the dance world. My parents tried to contact me through various channels, apologizing and wanting to make amends. They transferred the family company shares to my name and transferred the downtown villa to me, but I never responded even once. I can accept the money because that is what I deserve. But family bonds, once broken, can never be pieced back together. On this day, the dance troupe was going to a coastal city for a tour performance. Before the performance, I had an afternoon of rest. I came to the seaside alone. The sea breeze gently brushed through my long hair, carrying a faint salty and damp scent in the air. I took off my shoes and danced barefoot, moving slowly across the soft sand. There was no music, no audience. In my world, there is only the sound of the waves and the free wind. My body is so light. My soul is so free. I jump, laugh, and spin as if to leave. Passed behind, an inadvertent glance back, and I saw a few caregivers at the entrance of the sanatorium, not far away, pushing a woman in a wheelchair out to bask in the sun. The woman was wearing a loose hospital gown, her figure still bloated, her eyes vacant, drool trickling from the corner of her mouth, and she was mumbling something under her breath. It was Lisa. Due to the continuous deterioration of her mental condition, her family had transferred her from prison to this place. Our gazes briefly met in the air. There was no ripple in her eyes. Like a stagnant pool of water, she no longer recognized me. I withdrew my gaze without lingering and continued my dance. Her life had long since rotted away in endless regret and madness. While my life was just beginning, the setting sun stretched my shadow long and longer. I was like a butterfly that had broken free from all restraints, dancing in the golden light. A grand and solitary dance that belonged to me alone after hearing the two stories above. What are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you like this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.